Well, let's have this conversation this morning. It's all about the preparation for the Edo governorship election. Of course, that same day is likely to, it's the day when we are likely to have the Ondo election as well. So ahead of the September 21 governorship election in Edo State, we understand that the continuous voter registration exercise has resumed right there in that state, especially for those who have recently attained the age of 18, among several others. Let's have conversation this morning, as you're saying, with Mr. Emiantor, who is a chartered accountant, and he's also a political analyst. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure inviting me.
Well, we were having that conversation about whether or not you think Edo is ready.
Yeah, they are getting ready. It's, in Edo State, the political scenery is heightened, very heightened. Continuous voters registration is ongoing. So, you know, Edo State is one of the most articulated political being that you can think of in the Nigeria setting.
Really?
They are vast, very versatile in political arrangement and scheme. So they are getting ready. Different parties getting ready. Everybody is getting ready. From now till September, I don't think there is anything that is going to really take place in Edo, apart from moving from one local government, from one ward to the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
A quick diversion or digression. How do you see that affecting governance in the state?
Well, truly, it's going to affect governance. It will affect.
How?
Why do I say so? Because even the governor himself have vested interest. They want to ensure that at least they have one or two persons they are supporting. So they will be moving around trying to put everything in place to ensure that at the end of the day, they come out victorious. And based on that, meetings are ongoing, and meetings that are political, meetings that the affairs of the state will be somehow hindered from various discussions. Even the State House of Assembly, they are moving. Local government chairmen, they are moving. So everybody is moving right now. I said in Edo State, it's a heightened political discussion. Everywhere you go, whether in the beer parlor, it's all about politics as at now.
So there is a likelihood that governance will be affected negatively?
Ideally, it's not supposed to be that.
Okay.
Because there are commissioners who will be doing the job because they have their different portfolio. So the portfolio that you are assigned to, if you are able to follow it doggedly, it's not supposed to affect the state affair negatively. No. They will have to be doing that. Nobody is saying everybody is a political animal. Anybody that appoints you, you came in from a political party. Nobody is coming from the blues. So I believe, in all honesty, that the people who have been selected so far to be the various commissioners should be able to do their job, and the state will move without affecting anything.
You said
negative.
Ideally,
yes,
it shouldn't affect.
Yes.
But it could.
It could. Okay. In all sincerity. You know, I said, like those in governance, they also have vested interest, which is the truth.
Okay.
So they will ensure that the person they are fronting or the person they are campaigning for come out victorious. So to come out victorious is not in sleeping on the bed. So you have to be upwardly mobile, moving from one angle to the other to ensure that things are in order.
Okay, well, I mean, you've raised some pertinent questions, you know, on this issue right now, because on the one hand, you said that, you know, the people of Edo State are very, very agile politically.
Very well.
On the other hand, you're saying now that this whole idea of politicking is likely to affect the process of governance. Now, What that means is there's a likelihood that people might even turn a blind eye or blindsided. The people might be blindsided in the area of governance.
I said ideally supposed not to.
I heard, but there is that likelihood, right?
There is likelihood
of people being blindsided in the area of governance.
Because why? People are investing. Let me call it investment. Investment to ensure that the right candidate they want to see emerge in September comes out. So it's not something that anybody, a reasonable person, nobody will see his house being burnt and he will be sleeping. So there will be movement. Movement that sometimes unprepared for, impromptu movement. Things you don't know can come up. It must be resolved. So during that resolution, sometimes you may shift away from governance and do that resolution to see that everything is working according to plans. So that is it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, in all of this, it also points to one thing. When people are talking about elections, as far as the politician is concerned, is to win elections. And you have also said something very, very important about the people of Edo State. They are very much interested in who becomes their governor.
Very well.
Do you think they're looking at issues right now? I know it's a Nigerian thing, but we're speaking to Edo right now. Do you think people look at the governance issues that they need to really deal with, they need to consider when they are talking about employing a governor, so to speak?
Okay. In Edo today, any man, any woman who is not following issue, maybe because you are looking at handout, what you can be given, is not a good or a bona fide Edo EDG to vote in this coming election. I'm not talking of the past election, but this coming election is issue-based. Issue, not somebody who is coming to flatter us, coming to say, I will do this, speak English. No. Edo will look at issues and they are going to scrutinize those issues. If you say you are going to do ABC, not just doing ABC with verbal, they should see that you have everything, if it's data statistics, that you are going to use to back it up. So this next election is going to be issue-based, strictly issue-based. It's not about money. Money will fail in this election.
How can you be so sure?
Very sure.
How?
September, you will see it. That money has failed. Because in Edo State, even those in diaspora knows what is happening. People that have houses in Edo State, in the local communities, cannot travel. I've not slept in my house since 2014.
Why is that?
Yeah, because of kidnapping, banditry, everywhere. I know it's all over Nigeria, all over the world, but we are looking for someone who can tell us, I can do A, B, C to curb maybe like security issue, banditry issue, courtism issue. Go to Edo State. Court is everywhere. Why? Because most of us are not gainfully employed. You cannot beat a child, you say, don't cry. Somebody that has not eaten, you say, have courage. What kind of courage? You can't have courage in emptiness. So those are the issues. It's got to be issue-based.
Now, it's interesting. Let me quickly take you up on that one. It's interesting that you're talking about insecurity in Edo State because it is not something anyone hears about. Is it that something is being done deliberately to silence the people's voice, or what exactly do you think is happening in that regard? Is it something that the government of Edo State is not aware of?
First and foremost, I don't want to believe you say that in Edo State, people are not hearing about insecurity. Maybe it's only you that is not hearing about insecurity. And I don't think the government have the capacity to silence people not to talk about that there is insecurity in Edo State. Insecurity is in Edo State. yesterday, someone called me, one in diaspora, that he has a big mansion in his own hometown that he would have loved to be coming home. But from all indication, from what he's hearing, and whatsoever he's hearing as of today, I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, is the truth of the matter. Kidnapping. You can't go to farm.
In Edo State?
Yes.
How serious do you think?
Very serious. It's serious. It's serious. If anybody doubt it, let it call. It's serious.
So do you think the state government, I mean, you said this thing dates back 10 years at least.
I said since 2014, I've not slept in my house.
That's 10 years.
Yes, 10 years.
Now, would you say that it is because the government of Edo State over the past 10 years did not have the capacity, or what exactly do you think is happening?
You see, whether anyone want to believe it or not, when you talk of whether Fulani herdsmen or whatsoever, they cannot come and parade the community without having insider in that community. It's not possible. How will they know my farm route? How will they know my name? The insiders that are doing it, some of them, they didn't go to school. Some of them are hungry. Some of them are, even though they go to school, they are not employed. So there is a lot of issues that are bringing all this kidnapping, banditry everywhere. So, I'm not saying government does not have capacity, but I believe that it doesn't have the, if I say capacity, or the wherewithal to tackle this problem.
Okay. Now, so insecurity is one of those issues that you believe that people should be talking about in
They should talk about insecurity.
What other
talk
issues?
About education.
Okay.
Because without education, every man is incapacitated. Talk about education. Talk about road infrastructure. Talk about manpower development. Manpower development. If you go to Edo State, there is where they call Ilushi, Ozigono. If Ilushi is developed, it will be better compared to Lagos. Ilushi, River Niger. But nobody is doing anything. But if you go to Ilushi now, since it's rainy season, everywhere is flooded. All our roads are flooded. These are issues that should come to the table. When I was growing up at my early stage, there's a place called Uzea, Eweke. They saw oil. And as at that time, they were exploring the oil. But after a while, they said my place and the people, that is the Uzea, they were having conflict. Who owns the land? I don't know what happened overnight. The oil dried up. But me, I'm convinced beyond reasonable doubt that oil is still there till tomorrow. These are issues that they need to look to.
But there are those who would say that the issue of petroleum or crude oil or whatever is more of a federal government issue. But you know,
agreed.
Speak to this as well. I mean, when you say that the politics, that money is going to fail and that issue is going to be all issue-based and all, there's already a conversation on ground that concerning the political permutation of who becomes next governor. There are some who are saying that, okay, the governor right now is from a particular area and the next governor should come from another area and all of that. What do you make of all of that? Do you think that is going to have any significant impact on the elections?
It will have significant impact because in any state does not believe in zoning to a senatorial district, always bring upheaval. But thank God in Edo State, from what I'm seeing, the major political gladiators are coming from a particular senatorial district. So it's going to play a role, because if you are not from that senatorial district, no matter how brilliant you are, no matter how you are able to bring your issue to the table, nobody is going to buy or sell you. I can bet you that.
And why is that?
Why? Because, you see, politics is all about giving and taking. If you are in politics, you are in a particular position, you have able to galvanize for the period of time. I also want to be there. That is the Nigeria we find ourselves. Anything short of that will not work. That is why the major political party tried to succeed the gubernatorial candidate to that particular zone. Because they know that, for example, somebody have done 8 good years, and you are saying another person should come and do another 8 years. No. It's not feasible. Can never be feasible. Okay, for fairness and equity.
Okay. Yeah. Now, you've talked about 2 very important things. Number 1 is that of issues determining the elections. Number 2, political permutations determining it. What is the role for the people? I'm asking particularly with respect to political education. How educated, how well informed would you say that the people of Edo State is? Particularly the young population between ages 18 and 35 to 40 in Edo State. How politically aware are they? Or is it easier to just sway them in any particular direction of the person with the loudest voice in the room?
Well, they are aware to a certain extent. How do I mean? In Edo State today, leaders control the affairs. I say leaders. If I'm a leader, I'll go to my community. I'll say, oh, they have already said it in the state capital that this is who we are voting for. I can bet you that my statement, 90% of the community people will follow that statement, even though they know what is right before them. So, though they understand politics, but they don't have, that's why I said, you can't tell someone that is hungry to have courage. Because most of them are hungry.
Well, you know, anytime we talk about preparation for elections, we mouth preparing the people. We talk about INEC preparation of the political parties, voter, education, continuous voter registration and all of that. But very little, if significant enough, is spoken of concerning voter education, not just voter awareness, voter education, educating the people about not just voting, about the political environment, about governance issues, about the issues that you have spoken about here. In terms of preparing the people of Edo State for the next governorship election, how should we be going about that?
Well, you see, before now, I'll use an example with a National Orientation Agency. Those have failed us. There should be orientation agency set up for that mandate to do it. Go from ward to ward, local government to local government. But they are nowhere to be found. The thing they are doing, for example, in Edo State, is for this political party have their members say, vote for my party. That is not a political education. Political education is, okay, we have 10 political party. This is how to vote. Don't vote here so that your vote will not be null. So those are the things that a orientation agency supposed to do. There should be an orientation agency moving from one community to the other. But today, I'm not seeing that.
So in that regard, or with that in mind, what kind of voter population are you expecting to come out to vote during the election of September?
During this election, it's going to be average. Why do I say average? Firstly, I can bet you people abroad, outside the state, it will be difficult for them to come home for the singular reason of insecurity. Singular reason for insecurity. Because nobody wants to go home and be captured. You are not prepared for it. Then you are captured. Then your family will be running helter-skelter, looking for money where they did not keep. If anybody comes and say they don't pay ransom, everybody, even everybody in Nigeria, know that is a lie. You need to look for money to pay. So it's going to be average compared to all other elections that have happened in Edo State.
It's that one.